Hi friends, happy November. I cannot believe that it's already November. I hope you had a very happy Halloween. We did. We had trick-or-treaters, we made spooky snacks, we dressed up. It was so much fun. And we're just about to go to a Christmas market, so it really feels like November. Other than I'm still not used to it being hot in November. If you're new here, hi, I'm Olivia. This is AV Club where I talk about horror, lit fic, weird books, whatever I want to talk about. And today I'm talking about my November TBR, which is specifically my No Regrets November TBR. If you missed my announcement video, I'm doing a little readathon reading challenge that's very low stakes, easy to just add on to whatever you're already reading in the month. I know there's like a ton of readathons. However, this one is just a few prompts that help you get to your end of the year goals. That way in December, you're not stressed out whenever you're already looking forward to the holidays about trying to get to your reading goals before the beginning of the year and then like get to next year and feel bad about it. So like, let's just handle it now. If you want to take part in Nonfiction November 2, there is a bingo board, which I will have linked down below. It's on my Instagram. Please tag me and share it if you want to on Instagram, or if you make a video TBR on YouTube, I would definitely love to see it. I'll go through all my prompts and like what I'm reading for them, but really my goal for this month is just to finish all of my half-finished books. That's a bulk of this TBR. The first one though is to read a 2025 release that you want to get to before the end of the year. And mine for this is Painting Portraits of Everyone I've Ever Dated by Joseph Earp. This is an Australian novel, a lit fic novel, but described as funny, hilarious, bittersweet, clever. And the gist of this novel is that Ellie is a painter and things are actually going really well in her career. She's had a major career win, but realizes that she's maybe let some personal things slide. And so she does what any normal person would do and decides to paint a portrait of everyone that she's ever dated, all the way from childhood crushes to unrequited loves. It sounds like it's going to be a really good time and I'm looking forward to this. Also, I feel like we just have to give credit to this cover for originality. I know like the painting is like kind of motif that's used a lot right now, but orange is such a delightful color. For reading a book that was recommended to a long time ago, I picked The Mothers by Britt Bennett. This was actually given to me by the friend who recommended it to me as a birthday present years ago during COVID. She left it on my doorstep. So sweet. This was also in my 25 books that I want to read in 2025 video, which I scrubbed through to help me decide what to put in this TBR. And there are some unfinished books. I have read a decent amount of those. I won't get to all 25 before the end of the year because, like, why did I put the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy? That just was not happening. However, this is one of them. I do think that I can get to this before the end of the year. This is a lit fic book and it follows a teenager who has just lost her mother, gets into a relationship with someone. There's stuff about secrets, cover-ups, and then that follows them into adulthood, and then I think really revolves around those characters as adults. But not really so sure what this is about other than that. For reading a book from a genre that you haven't gotten to this year, I picked a romance. I picked The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love by India Holton. I saw on Kayla Books and Lala's channel that she really liked this, and I do have similar book taste to her as far as like horror and thrillers go. Not so much a romance girly. However, I do think that if I were gonna like one that's about birds and like a bird hunting, not hunting, bird finding scavenger hunt competition sounds like something that I would like. And I think it's a series, although I don't think follows like the same character. So if I like this, then I have more to get to. I'm not against reading a romance. They just typically do not interest me. But I love romance whenever it's in other things that I love, like, Fingersmith. Um, but I really just like want something meaty or fun. Like I think a competition sounds really fun, and I do think that I could like this a lot. For the prompt, that is to read a book that you've soft DNF'd. Well, do I have the stack for you? Because I have a lot of books that I have half finished, including The White City by Carolina Ramkis, which is a Swedish novel, kind of set up like a crime thriller, but has a literary tone and follows a mother and her infant. Really interesting so far. This is one that I think I started in January and got this far through and then put down for whatever reason, but I was like tabbing and writing in it as I went, and that slowed me down. I don't really know what happened because I was loving this, and yeah, that's why I want to get to it now rather than having to realize that I never finished it this year and having to restart the whole book next year. But it's a very weird book. There's like these animals disappearing in this village, and there's mystery, really interesting character voices in this. I mean, everyone loves this book, and you can see why. Another one that I started at the beginning of the year got not quite halfway through, but it just like wasn't really catching my attention at the moment. But I do want to finish it, especially now that it's heating up again, because this is a horror that is a very tropical, hot horror. Scott Smith's The Ruins, which is set in Mayan ruins where there's this archaeological dig. There's this place where they're not supposed to go, but they go there, and then the people native to that area are not going to let them leave that area now that they went into it. They're not trying to hurt them, but they're like, you're not taking whatever evil is in there back out. I think where I'm at with them in the story right now is that they're in a pit. So I know right where they are, and I will get back to them soon. One that was on my October TBR, and I just haven't quite finished yet, but I am really enjoying it as well, as the Pilo Family Circus by Will Elliott. This is an Australian horror novel about clowns and a weird circus, and it's really good so far. That it has a really unique voice. I didn't think that I was going to love a clowny story, but it's really good. It's pretty unhinged, and it's so interesting to see a horror that's like set in Brisbane. Usually the Australian horror movies that get popular, a lot of them that I've seen or read, have been set in the outback and are more folk horror or survival horror in that way. So seeing that one that's set in a more urban area is delightful. And then I think I will just restart this one, but Hungerstone by Kat Dunn is a Carmilla retelling that I was really enjoying, but was listening to it on audiobook. Whenever I had to cancel my debit cards because of the break-in, I lost access to my Scribd, so I no longer have access to the audiobook. And so I picked it back up on as a physical copy from the library, and I think I'll just restart it because I don't remember. It's kind of hard whenever you're reading an audiobook to figure out exactly where you might be at chapter wise. So I'm very happy to restart it because I was enjoying this a lot. And then for my library books that I need to read before I return them, I have Incidents Around the House by Josh Mallerman, one that I picked up for Halloween. It is a horror story told from the point of view of 8-year-old Bella. Don't really know exactly what it's about, except for there's a character that's the other mommy that this 8-year-old seems to be haunted by in some way. I think children are creepy, and I think this is going to be a good one. And one that I haven't heard anyone talk about, but I've seen a lot, I just haven't really read a review of, is How to Make a Horror Movie and Survive by Craig DeLuey. I know that people have loved other books by him. I just haven't seen any reviews of this one in particular, but this one sounds really interesting. I love a horror story that is about making horror movies, and this one sounds really good. It's about Max, a horror film director who's not getting the funding he needs, Sally, who wants to be a final girl in a horror movie, and Max finds this old camera that filmed a real Hollywood horror, and he decides he needs to use this to make his next film. And then I think things just go wrong from there. So this sounds so fun. And then just another miscellaneous book that was on my 25 for 25 that, you know what, I think that this is going to be a failure in the making, so why even say it? But Incarcerated Mothers is an anthology collection that I've been working through for years. So even if I just read one more of the essays in here, it is a nonfiction anthology that is from Canada. There's different topics like incarcerating adolescent moms, the point of view of the mothers afterwards, that they felt like it was easier just to say that they weren't mothers, how incarcerating Indigenous mothers intersects with colonization. Just a lot of different topics are covered in here, and I think, it's just something that I want to at least slowly progress through still. And that's just my physical TBR. I know that if I have a task that I have to do, that I don't want to over plan everything else. So my audiobooks are going to be all mood reading. I know that I have a lot of holds coming in from the library, but I don't know what order they'll come in. So I don't want to say for sure what I'll read for the rest of the month. So there will be surprises in store. But thank you so much for being here. And I really hope you take part in No Regrets November. I think it would just be so fun. So yeah, please tag me in anything. If you do the bingo board and put on Instagram, tag me, use the hashtag, whatever. I will definitely see it, and I would love to see what y'all are reading. But yeah, please like, subscribe, everything. It helps out so much. And I will talk to you again very soon. Bye.